Mason, if you would begin. Take 2 minutes. The timekeepers are right here in the front, so keep your eyes on them. If they put time, finish your sentence and hand the mic over.
Okay, thank you.
2 minutes.
Thank you, President Wyatt. Thank you, all of you, for coming in tonight, taking time out of your busy schedules and coming let us introduce ourselves a little more to you. I want to say thank you for the trust and the confidence that you've given to me to serve you in the past as a county commissioner. I have a sincere, strong desire to continue in this position, and I feel that I can contribute and that my experience will be beneficial in the term to come. You know, right now we're all experiencing some challenging times. There's no question about it. We've just had the experience of listening to the school board candidates. It doesn't matter if you're in county government, school board, city government. We are all experiencing some challenging times, and there's a lot of significant things are happening. And when times get a little more challenging, the critics get louder, and rightfully so. You know, I'm a critic. I'm a critic of the state and federal government. Sometimes I don't like the way they do things. So being critical isn't always bad. But the economy is a challenge right now. One of the biggest challenges in being a county commissioner right now is balancing a budget. It's tough. It's hard work. But we've been able to do so. It's state law, and we do run with a balanced budget. But trying to balance that budget without cutting services is one of the big challenges. We have a lot of issues that we got to keep within that budget. You know, personnel, roads, public lands, a lot of different things. I have experience working with the state legislators. I know many of them personally. I can pick up the phone and call them and talk to them about our issues, and I appreciate that. And I appreciate the opportunity to visit with you tonight. Thank you.
President Wyatt, the Reaper put our ages on this handout, and I am, clock shouldn't start now. I am the elder statesman here. That means I have all the experience and wisdom, but I would also expect to get a little special treatment from you, okay?
We'll be gentle.
Let's start the talk. My name is Mont Turner, and I'm running for county commissioner. Thanks to all of you who take the time and the effort and the opportunity to come here. 2 minutes is not a very long time. But I'll just start with my education. I got a degree from Utah State, Bachelor of Science in Range Management if we're talking about age, you might as well put it out there, in 1969. Shortly after that, I was drafted into the Army. I am a veteran. I was drafted for 2 years during the Vietnam Vietnam War. Later, I joined the National Guard when I moved to Fillmore, and I spent 20 years in the National Guard. My career was with the Soil Conservation Service, the U.S. Department of Ag, and with the Association of Conservation Districts. I took my wife and my kids from Beaver to Ogden, to Logan, to Salt Lake, to Fillmore, and finally to Ridgefield in 1984. I've been here 26 years. Living in all of those cities gave me even more experience. The main work with the Soil Conservation Service is what I feel is giving my experience, and I'll explain it to you in two broad categories. One is in treating and working with the natural resources in our public lands, working with public land managers and farmers and ranchers, the salt of the earth. The overriding purpose of our practices that we assisted them in putting them on the ground was to do that in a sustained manner while we got the use from them. The second arena was working with counties and with cities as the Panorama Land or C&D coordinator. We worked with economic development and infrastructure projects. My time is up. Thank you.
Thank you, Ridgefield Reaper, and thank you. Can you hear me now? Oh, that's good. Okay, don't time me yet. Okay, start. Okay. I'd like to thank everyone for hosting this event tonight.
My name is Elaine Bonavita. I'm going to give you a little bit of my background in 2 minutes. I organized a local movement called the Excise Tax Tea Party in my hometown of Agawam, Massachusetts in 1979, my first introduction to community politics. As a result of that, I co-sponsored a very successful statewide initiative, tax reform for the people of Massachusetts called Proposition 2.5. I was elected city councilor at large right after that, and I published a newspaper, the Agawam Voice, much like I published the County Voice here for a community service. I married and moved to Iowa in 1986, where as an elected member of the Republican Central Committee, I organized the pro-life Republicans statewide, and we, Iowa, became a state platform pro-life. I was elected to the Waterloo School District Board of Directors. We're not called school board members, we're called Board of Directors there. I have all my certificates here should anyone want to verify the fact of this, my transcripts. I have my diplomas, I have my certificates of election since they were questioned severely by my opponent's supporters. I also had a TV talk show in Iowa, which ran for 7 years, which I did right here in Superior County for a year. I graduated with a summa cum laude Bachelor of Arts English degree from the University of Northern Iowa in 1998. I attended Texas Wesleyan Law School, and in 2001, at my own expense, I traveled to and organized a member missionary program at a local hospital and prison in Tonga by invitation of the Tongan government. This was after a heart condition interrupted a mission, an LDS mission application process. I returned to the States 6 years later, 2007, choosing Superior County as my new home, and soon thereafter organized the Right to Vote Committee. I understand how I can use this office to make a difference in the lives of our citizens. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Turner, I thought when Ms. Bonavita was talking about organizing the Tea Party in Massachusetts, she was trying to prove she's older than me.
She may be, but I think one's got all of me.
Is that a question?
No.
That's an easy question.
No, that was prior.
I do am grateful to be here, Brother Wyatt. Thank you for putting this program together and for sponsoring it. I'm grateful for the rebrand, for you for coming out as citizens, as people like you that,
Yes, check it out.
I think it is not close enough. It's people like you and people like the candidates that have prompted me to seek public office. It's a pleasure to rub shoulders with each of these candidates. I've known most of them for a good long time, most of my life, except for Brother Turner. Haven't met him since we were separated at birth. No, they're all good people though, and I'm grateful to be involved in this process. I got involved because my kids keep telling me to get involved in politics and tell me that I should seek a position, and they've also spurred me on to being where I am today and to seek for public office. I was born in Superior County. My parents moved here just before I was born, the year before I was born. My biggest qualification is that I have a vested interest in preserving the values of this community, and I have several interests on my agenda. 3 points I'd like to point out is I'd like to put a cap on property taxes. That's one of your basic rights, in my opinion. Your life, liberty, and property rights are your biggest human rights. So I'd like to put a cap on property rights. Seek other forms of taxation if necessary. I'd like to put a cap on drug use in the county. There's a new drug that's found its way into the county, the spice drug, that I'd like to seek legislation to eliminate that in the county and nip that in the bud before it gets spread. And I'd like to see no more road closures on open land and see more multiple uses of things. Thank you.
Lost best of all the game. I'm thankful for the Reaper to put this on today, and it looks like we have quite a few people that are interested in knowing what we have to say. Just give you a little background. I'm Tudor Ogden. I was raised out here on the northeast corner of Richfield. I've got a background in agriculture. I was raised up through that. I owned Ideal Dairy for over 20 years. At the time I owned that, it was was very successful. It was successful before I had it. It was successful when I sold it. During that time, we created jobs. We expanded our operations in the South Sanpete, North Sanpete. I have solved problems, day-to-day problems. I've paid taxes. I understand how budgets work. I've worked on the planning and zoning for Richfield City for over 6 years. Was on the Utah Dairymen's Association for 8 years. That deals a lot with the legislative issues of the state and of the county. Also served on the Dairy Commission for 3 years. I was involved in that from the Gut Milk campaign, which proved to be very successful in the state as well as the nation. I have also been involved in the Richfield Fire Department for over 20 years and served in capacity of captain, first lieutenant, second lieutenant, and now serving as secretary. I'm serving on Richfield Board of Adjustment at this time. I have got over 37 years involved in community service, and I'm very proud of that. A lot of you thought I just made ice cream. I have the experience, I believe I have the knowledge that to take us forward. I'm definitely for multi-use of county, federal, state lands. I think that these things are here for our use, and my time's up. Thank you.
Thank you very much.